Welcome back to Saltwater Stories. You know, we've talked before about marine protected areas.
MPAs.
Yeah, MPAs.
Right.
But today we're really going to, explore them in depth.
Yeah, we've got tons of research on these special areas.
Well,
They're basically like underwater parks.
underwater parks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where we protect all kinds of cool sea creatures and their habitats.
Okay, I like that. Underwater parks.
Yeah.
That makes it so easy to imagine. So, why are those so important?
Well, imagine like a coral reef that's really struggling to survive.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the fish are disappearing, the coral's turning white.
Yeah.
It's just not as vibrant as it used to be. And then an MPA is created.
Okay.
Our research shows that MPAs can actually help bring those struggling reefs back to life.
Oh, wow. How do they do that?
Well, it's kind of like giving the reef a chance to rest and recover.
Okay.
You know, by protecting it from things like overfishing and pollution. Fish populations can bounce back, the coral can start to grow again.
Yeah.
The whole ecosystem gets healthier.
That makes sense. So it's like we're giving the reef a big hug and saying, it's okay, we're here to help you get better.
Exactly. And it's not just coral reefs.
Right.
Our research from the MPA guide actually shows that there are all different types of MPAs.
Okay.
Each designed to protect specific habitats and species. Some protect like vast stretches of open ocean,
Okay.
while others protect smaller areas like seagrass beds or kelp forests.
Wow. So many different types, like different kinds of underwater parks.
Right, exactly.
I bet there are some pretty amazing creatures living in those protected areas.
Oh, you bet there are. MPAs are home to some of the most incredible and diverse life on Earth.
Great.
You might find colorful fish
Yeah.
cutting in and out of the coral,
Wow.
giant sea turtles gliding through the water, playful dolphins leaping through the waves,
It's amazing.
and even majestic whales migrating through those protected zones.
It sounds like a magical underwater world.
It is.
So how did people even get the idea to create these underwater parks? Was that like a new idea?
Actually, no. The idea of protecting parts of the ocean goes way back.
Okay.
Indigenous cultures around the world have had their own ways of managing marine resources for
Yeah.
centuries, often tied to their beliefs and traditions.
That's so cool. So respecting and protecting the ocean is something people have been doing for a long time.
Yeah, and those early practices actually helped shape the development of modern MPAs.
Interesting.
Our research shows that one of the earliest examples of a protected area can be traced back to the Pacific Islands.
Oh, wow.
The people of Palau have a tradition called bull,
Okay.
which is a temporary fishing ban on certain reefs to let the fish populations recover.
That's so cool.
And that practice has been going on for hundreds of years.
Wow. That's incredible. So even hundreds of years ago, people understood that you couldn't just keep taking fish
Right.
out of the ocean without giving them a chance to come back.
Exactly. And that same idea is at the heart of modern MPAs.
So these MPAs are a way of making sure there are always plenty of fish in the sea.
That's one of the goals?
Okay, but it can't be that simple.
No.
Right.
I can't just draw a line on a map and say, no fishing here.
Right.
There's more to it than that.
So how does it actually work?
Well, remember how we talked about all those different types of MPAs?
Yeah.
Each one has different rules and goals. Our research from NOAA shows that some MPAs are called no-take zones,
Okay.
which means absolutely no fishing.
Or
Taking anything from the ocean is allowed.
wow, that's strict.
Eh,
But I guess that makes sense if you really want to give the ecosystem a chance to recover.
exactly. But there are also MPAs that allow some activities,
Okay.
like sustainable fishing or tourism.
Right.
But there are strict rules to make sure those activities don't harm the environment.
So it's about finding that balance
Right.
between letting people use the ocean,
Mm-hmm.
but also making sure we're protecting it.
Exactly. And our research actually shows that MPAs can actually help people in lots of different ways.
Really? How is that possible? I always thought they were just about protecting the fish.
Yeah, a lot of people think that.
And other creatures.
But think about it, when fish populations are healthy and thriving inside an MPA,
Yeah.
some of those fish actually move outside the MPA into surrounding areas.
Oh, like they're spreading out.
Exactly.
Sharing the wealth.
Yeah. And that means there are more fish for people to catch in those areas.
So MPAs can actually help support sustainable fishing.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
mean-
So protecting those special areas actually helps the fishermen, too.
It does.
What other ways do MPAs help people?
Well, our research shows that MPAs can be a huge boost for tourism.
Right.
People love to visit beautiful, healthy coral reefs
Of
and
course.
see all the cool creatures that live there.
Yeah.
That means more jobs for people in tourism,
Right.
like tour guides, dive instructors, hotel workers.
So MPAs can help protect the ocean, support fishermen, and create jobs.
Exactly.
Wow, that's incredible.
It is.
But managing all these different types of MPAs with all those different rules must be a lot of work. How do they decide which type of MPA is right for each area?
Well, that's where science comes in.
Okay.
Scientists and policymakers use a lot of information to figure out the best approach for each MPA.
Okay, like what kind of information?
They look at the types of habitats that are present,
Mm-hmm.
the species that live there,
Okay.
the potential impact on local communities.
Yeah.
They even use computer models to predict how different management strategies might affect the ecosystem.
So it's like putting together this giant puzzle,
Yeah,
using all these different pieces of information to create the best picture for
exactly.
each MPA.
Right, and once they figure out the best approach,
Yeah,
they have to come up with rules and regulations to make sure the MPA is managed properly.
that makes sense. It's like having rules for a park to make
Mm.
sure everybody can enjoy it
Right.
without causing any damage.
Exactly.
But who makes those rules for the MPAs? Is there like an underwater police force?
Not quite a police force,
Okay.
but there are definitely people in charge of making sure the rules are followed.
Okay.
It depends where the MPA is located,
Okay.
but it often involves government agencies, park rangers, and even local communities working together.
So it's like a team effort
Yeah,
to keep those underwater parks healthy and safe.
exactly. And they use all sorts of tools to do their job, from patrol boats
Wow.
to satellite imagery to underwater cameras.
That's really cool. I can't wait to hear more about those. This is so fascinating.
We'll talk about those more later.
Awesome.
But with all the problems facing the oceans today, like pollution and climate change
Yeah.
and overfishing, can MPAs really make a difference?
That's a good question.
It is. And scientists are constantly working to find that answer.
Okay.
And the research is actually really encouraging. It
That's
shows that MPAs can be super effective at protecting biodiversity
okay.
and helping ecosystems recover.
So those underwater parks are actually making a difference.
They are.
But how do we know that they're working? How do we measure their success?
Well, that's where it gets really interesting. Scientists basically have to become ocean detectives.
Ocean detectives? That sounds like fun. What kind of detective work are we talking about here?
Well, they use all these different tools and techniques to gather clues about the MPA's health.
Okay.
They might, like, dive down and count the fish,
Okay.
collect water samples to test for pollution,
Mm-hmm.
or even use underwater robots to explore the depths.
Wow. Like a CSI episode, but underwater.
It is kinda.
So what have those ocean detectives found out?
Well, our research shows that inside MPAs that are managed well, there are some really amazing results.
Like what?
Fish populations start to increase in both size and number.
Okay.
Coral reefs start thriving.
Cool.
And the overall biodiversity of the area goes way up. It's like watching the ecosystem come back to life.
That's fantastic. So the underwater parks are working.
They are.
They're giving the creatures a safe place to live
Mm-hmm.
and thrive.
Exactly. And here's the really cool part. Those positive impacts actually spread outside the MPA.
Really?
Yeah, it's called spillover.
Spillover, what do you mean?
So imagine a fish that was born and raised inside an MPA
Mhm.
where it was protected from fishing.
Okay.
When that fish grows up, it might decide to swim outside the MPA into a nearby area
Right.
where fishing is allowed,
Oh, that's cool.
and then people can catch it.
So it's like the MPA is sending out ambassadors
Yeah.
of good health to the surrounding waters.
Right, exactly.
So fishermen in those areas might start catching more fish thanks to the MPA.
That's right.
That's incredible. It's like a ripple effect spreading out from the MPA.
It is. It's pretty cool.
But what about all those other challenges facing the ocean, like climate change? Can MPAs really help with that?
That's a great question, and it's one that scientists are studying very closely.
Okay.
What they're finding is that MPAs can play a really important role in helping ecosystems adapt to climate change.
Oh, wow. Really? How does that work?
Think of it this way. A healthy ecosystem is like a really strong community.
Okay.
It's better able to handle stress and change.
So it's like having a good immune system.
Exactly.
If you're healthy, you're more likely to fight off a cold or a flu.
That's a great analogy.
Thanks.
And MPAs can help boost the immune system of the whole marine ecosystem
Okay.
by protecting habitats, reducing pollution, making sure fish populations are healthy.
So it's like giving those ecosystems extra strength.
Exactly. It makes them more resilient to the impacts of climate change.
That's amazing.
Hmm.
So those underwater parks aren't just about protecting the creatures that live there today.
Right.
They're about making sure that those ecosystems and the benefits they provide for people
Right.
can survive and thrive in the future.
Exactly.
That's really cool. So MPAs are a powerful tool for ocean conservation.
They are.
Wow, we've learned so much already about MPAs, from how they protect biodiversity to how they support fisheries.
Mhm.
In tourism, to how they even help with climate change, it's clear that these underwater parks are super important in keeping our oceans healthy.
They are.
But I'm curious, how do those ocean detectives actually measure the success of an MPA?
Well, remember how we talked about them gathering clues, like counting fish and testing water samples?
Yeah.
All that information helps them understand how the ecosystem is changing.
So it's like taking a before and after picture of the MPA.
Exactly.
Okay.
They compare the data they collect inside the MPA
Okay.
to data from similar areas outside the MPA,
Okay.
and that way they can see if the protection is making a difference.
That's really smart. So what have they found? Are MPAs really making a difference?
Absolutely.
Cool.
Our research shows that in lots of cases, MPAs are leading to significant increases in fish populations,
Okay.
improvements in water quality,
Wow.
and even the recovery of damaged habitats.
That's fantastic. Those underwater parks are really working.
They are.
That's awesome.
And that's why scientists and conservationists around the world are saying we need more MPAs.
More underwater parks.
Yeah.
I'm all for that.
Yeah.
The more we can protect our oceans, the better.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there are challenges in managing MPAs, right?
You're absolutely right. Managing MPAs effectively requires a lot of planning,
Mm.
scientific monitoring, community engagement, and of course, funding.
Sounds like a lot of work.
It is, but it's important work.
Right.
Because when MPAs are well managed, they can provide such incredible benefits.
Yeah.
Not just for the ocean, but for people too.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground already.
We have.
From the history of MPAs to their benefits to even the challenges of managing them.
Yeah.
But there's another side to this
Yeah.
that I think is really interesting,
Yeah.
which is the human side of things.
Yeah, that's really important.
Tell me more about that.
Well, we often think of MPAs as these like wild, untouched places.
Yeah.
But in reality, they're really connected to people's lives, especially the people who live in coastal communities.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
After all, people have been relying on the ocean for food and their livelihoods and even their cultural traditions for centuries. So how do MPAs affect those communities?
Well, the relationship between MPAs and coastal communities can be complicated. But our research shows that MPAs can bring a lot of benefits to these communities, both economically and culturally.
Cool. Tell me more about those benefits.
Well, for one, we talked about how MPAs can support sustainable fisheries,
Yeah.
which means more fish for local fishermen to catch.
Right.
And that can be really important for communities that depend on fishing for their income.
Right, to make a living.
Exactly, and also for their food security.
So MPAs are helping to ensure that there are fish for the future, too.
That's right.
That's awesome.
And remember how we talked about how MPAs can boost tourism?
Yeah.
Well, all that tourism can bring a lot of money to coastal communities.
Right.
Think about all the people who visit those underwater parks. They need places to stay, they need food to eat, activities to enjoy.
Has a lot of jobs.
It is, exactly. So MPAs can create jobs for people in those communities.
So it's a win-win situation.
Yeah, it is.
Protecting the ocean
Yeah.
and helping the local economies.
Right. And beyond the economic benefits, MPAs can also help preserve cultural traditions that are connected to the ocean.
Can you give me an example?
Sure. In many indigenous cultures around the world, the ocean isn't just a source of food and resources.
Right.
It's a central part of their spiritual beliefs and cultural identity.
Oh, wow. So protecting the ocean is about protecting their heritage, too.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
Our research from a study on indigenous marine management in Australia shows that when we establish MPAs that respect those traditional fishing grounds and cultural sites, it helps ensure that those traditions can continue.
That's so important.
It is. It's about recognizing the deep connection that exists between people and the sea.
Yeah. It's a reminder that conservation isn't just about science and data.
Right.
It's about people and their stories.
Absolutely. But it is important to acknowledge that the relationship between MPAs and communities isn't always easy.
I bet.
There can be challenges and conflicts that we need to address.
Yeah. It can't always be easy to balance those conservation goals with the needs of the people who rely on the ocean for their livelihoods.
That's right.
So how do we make sure that MPAs work for everyone, both the ocean and the people who depend on it?
Well, communication and collaboration are key.
Okay.
It's super important to involve local communities in the planning and decision-making process.
Right. From the beginning.
From the very beginning,
Yeah.
when people feel like their voices are heard
Yeah.
and their concerns are being addressed, they're much more likely to support the MPA and follow the rules.
That makes sense.
So it's about building trust
Yeah.
and finding solutions that work for everyone.
Exactly.
And one approach that's really effective is community-based management. Okay.
This involves giving local communities an important role in how the MPA is managed, often using their traditional knowledge and practices.
So it's about empowering communities
Yeah,
to be stewards of their own marine resources.
exactly. And our research from a study on community-managed MPAs in the Philippines
Okay.
found that these tend to be more successful in achieving both conservation and socioeconomic goals.
That's awesome.
Local communities understand the local ecosystem so well,
Yeah.
and they're often the most invested in its long-term health.
So community-based management is a win-win
It is.
for both the ocean and the people who live near it.
Exactly. And it just shows how effective conservation often requires a combination of science
Right.
and local wisdom.
That's so cool. Now, we've talked about how MPAs are managed on a local level.
Yeah.
But who makes the overall rules? Are there like international laws that govern MPAs?
That's a great question.
Because it seems like it would be hard to coordinate all that across different countries. Yeah, it's definitely complicated, but there are some key international agreements that help guide MPA policy and management
Okay.
around the world.
Felt good.
One of the most important is the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea.
UN.
UNCLOS, yeah.
I've heard of that. It's like the rule book for the ocean.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay.
UNCLOS sets out the framework for how countries can use and protect their ocean spaces. And it also includes parts about creating MPAs and cooperating on conservation.
So it's like a global agreement to work together to keep the oceans healthy.
Exactly. And in addition to UNCLOS, there are other international organizations, like the International Union for Conservation of Nature or the IUCN, that are important in promoting MPAs and providing guidance on the best ways to manage them.
So there's a whole network of international cooperation supporting MPAs around the world.
There is.
That's really cool.
And that's important because the ocean doesn't recognize national borders.
Right, it's all connected.
Yeah, exactly.
So we need to work together to protect the whole ocean, not just our little part of it.
Absolutely.
And that brings us to another interesting aspect of MPAs, their role in tackling global challenges.
Right.
Like climate change.
Yeah, the blue carbon superpower.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how do MPAs fit into that bigger picture of climate action?
Well, healthy marine ecosystems, like the ones you find in well-managed MPAs, are amazing carbon sinks.
Right.
They can absorb and store huge amounts of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, helping to fight climate change.
So they're like underwater forests, just sucking carbon out of the air.
That's a great way to think about it.
Cool.
And by protecting these ecosystems, we're not just protecting the biodiversity. We're also contributing to a healthier planet.
That's awesome. It's a good reminder that everything's connected.
It is.
And protecting the oceans is a big part of keeping the whole planet healthy.
It is.
But how do we make sure that MPAs are actually helping with climate action?
Well, science and monitoring are really important. Scientists are developing all these cool tools and techniques to measure how much carbon different marine ecosystems can store. And they track how that changes over time.
So we're like keeping a carbon budget for the ocean.
That's a good way to put it.
Okay.
And all of that information helps us figure out which MPAs are best at storing carbon. And then we can make sure they're managed in a way that really helps the climate.
That's really smart. It's like MPAs are a secret weapon.
They are.
In the fight against climate change.
Pretty cool.
But I'm sure there's still a lot we don't know about how climate change and MPAs will interact in the future.
Right. Absolutely. The ocean is so complex.
Yeah.
And climate change is changing things in ways we're still trying to figure out.
No.
But one thing is for sure.
What's that?
MPAs are an important part of the solution.
So we need to keep learning more about them?
Yeah.
So we can protect them. I'm really starting to see the big picture here. MPAs aren't just about protecting pretty fish or making places for people to go diving.
Right.
It's about protecting the health of our oceans, supporting coastal communities, preserving our heritage, and even tackling global challenges like climate change.
Exactly.
That's really awesome.
It is. And as we learn more about the potential of MPAs, we need to keep pushing for more of them and making the ones we have even better.
Okay.
We need to be ambitious and creative.
Ambitious and creative. I like that.
Yeah. So we've talked about the what and the why of MPAs.
Yeah.
But now I think it's time to talk about the how.
Okay, the how.
How can we make sure that these ocean sanctuaries keep thriving in the future?
That sounds like an exciting topic. I can't wait to hear more.
Let's get into it. It's exciting to think about the future of MPAs.
It is.
We've learned so much about how important they are.
Yeah.
But there's still a lot we can do to make them better. One area that's really exciting is technology.
Oh, technology. Like what?
It's like giving our ocean detectives new gadgets.
Gadgets. I like gadgets.
To help protect those underwater parks.
Okay.
For example, scientists are now using satellites.
Satellites, wow.
To track illegal fishing.
Really?
Yeah, they can see from space if boats are fishing where they shouldn't be.
That's amazing. So we have eyes in the sky.
Exactly. We also have underwater drones.
Underwater drones, whoa.
That can go to places that are too deep or dangerous for people.
Okay.
They can collect all kinds of data, like on water quality and fish populations.
Wow.
Even the health of coral reefs.
So it's like a whole team of underwater explorers.
It is.
Gathering information.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
It is. And all of this data helps us make better decisions
Okay.
about how to manage MPAs.
To protect them and keep them healthy.
Exactly.
It sounds like technology is really changing how we protect the ocean.
It really is.
But are there other challenges that MPAs are facing?
Yeah, you're right. Technology is great, but it's not a perfect solution.
Right.
One of the biggest challenges for MPAs is climate change.
Oh, yeah, right?
We talked about how MPAs can help ecosystems be more resilient, but climate change is getting more and more serious.
Yeah, that's scary.
It is.
So even though we have those underwater parks, climate change is still a big problem.
It is, but that doesn't mean we should give up.
Right.
Our research is showing that MPAs can help us actually do something about climate change,
Okay.
not just adapt to it.
Really? Yeah.
Well, remember we talked about blue carbon,
Yep.
how healthy ocean ecosystems can actually absorb carbon dioxide.
Right from the air.
Exactly.
Yeah.
MPAs can help protect those carbon sinks.
So we're not just protecting fish and coral, we're helping to fight climate change.
Exactly. Some scientists are even thinking about making new MPAs.
Okay.
Just because they're good at storing carbon.
So it's like planting a forest, but underwater.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing.
It is.
That protecting our oceans can help the whole planet.
But are we sure how this will all work with MPAs and climate change in the future?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
We're still learning.
Okay.
The ocean is complicated. Climate change is making things unpredictable.
Right.
But that's why research and monitoring are so important.
Mm-hmm.
We need to keep learning so we can manage MPAs the right way.
So it's all about adapting,
Yeah.
finding new ways to protect our oceans as things change.
Exactly. And you know, another exciting thing happening with MPAs
What's that?
is that communities are getting more involved.
Yeah, we talked about that before.
Yeah, community-based management.
Right?
It's great to see communities taking care of their own ocean spaces.
It is.
And it's happening more and more
Okay.
all over the world.
That's great.
Governments are realizing that the best way to manage MPAs is to work with the people who know them best.
Yeah, the people who live there.
Yeah, the fishermen, the tour operators,
Oh.
the indigenous communities who have
Right.
been taking care of the ocean for a long time.
It's like combining what scientists know with the wisdom of the local people.
Exactly. And when that happens, great things are possible.
I like that.
We've seen communities make MPAs
Yeah.
that not only protect the ocean, but also help the local economy, keep their traditions alive, and make people feel proud.
So MPAs can really bring people together
It can.
to create a better future.
Yeah, and as we look to the future, I think we'll see even more creative ways to manage MPAs, focusing on things like sustainability,
Right.
making sure things are fair, and working with communities.
I'm excited to see what happens next with MPAs.
Me too. It's going to be exciting.
It is. Well, before we go, is there anything else you want to tell our listeners?
I would just say MPAs are a sign of hope.
Oh.
They show us that we can protect our oceans, that we can fix what we've broken,
Yeah.
and that we can build a better future for everyone.
That's a great message.
Thanks.
So what can our listeners do?
To help?
Yeah, to support MPAs and ocean conservation.
Well, there's so much they can do.
Like what?
They can learn more about MPAs near them.
Okay.
They can support organizations working to protect the oceans. They can choose sustainable seafood.
Okay.
They can use less plastic. And they can tell their friends and family how important it is to protect the ocean.
Every little bit counts.
Exactly.
Well, this has been an amazing journey.
It has.
Learning all about MPAs, why they're important, the challenges they face, and the awesome potential they have for the future.
Yeah, it's been a great discussion.
It has. Thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, thanks for having me.
And to our listeners, thank you for coming along with us on this adventure.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
We hope you've learned a lot. And we hope you'll all become ocean heroes in your own way.
See you next time.